Now I'm going to make a sort of Tex-Mex kind of cornbread, which I used to make when I would have friends round for Tex-Mex food, which is basically Mexican inspired American food and is fairly common and popular along the border states, especially Texas, which is why it's called Tex-Mex. So, and of course bearing in mind that Texas and Mexico used to be one before the Great Mexican that war. I believe it was in 1814? Not quite certain about that, but anyway, I digress. What I'm going to use is regular cornmeal, not the corn maize that I use to make the corn tortillas, which it does have a slightly different flavour and consistency and all that one. But I'm going to use 1 cup of cornmeal. Put that over here out of the way. And then 1 cup of self-rising flour. Self-raising, I mean. Anyway. Get that stirred up well. 2 large eggs. I don't actually use any size but large. Egg white all over the place, but never mind. Get that stirred in a bit and then add some milk. Enough to make it a batter. And if I would make this cornbread for other cookery, such as their just southern cooking, I would make it with a cup of cornmeal, cup of the flour, cup of sugar, and the eggs and all that, to make a sweeter cornbread. Cornbread, American style cornbread, is in the same way that they just have a wide variety of dishes. Cornbread can be adapted to just about anything. You can put pieces of chicharron in it, which is those baked pig skins. We call them pork scratchings, but theirs are a bit different. They're a bit fattier and crunchier, believe it or not. And so you can do all sorts of things with it. Next, grated cheddar cheese. Mix a bit of that in there. I'll make it nice and cheesy, but not too cheesy. Still want cornbread in there. And then I'm going to mix in red and green sliced jalapenos. And try to drain them, try not to get too much juice. That adds colour, flavour and zing. Stir that in. I think I last made this about 4 years ago. I invited some friends over for TexMex, and I made the TexMex chili, which is not Mexican chili, but it's along those lines, etc. And as usual, made a bit too much. They took so much home. They made several meals out of it. Now spray the pan. Okay. And then pour in the cornmeal mix. So as you can see, it's very quick, very simple. So you'll probably make that about the end of your day of cooking, because the other things, such as the chili, would take a bit longer. And wipe the spray off of the handles and things, because it tends to bake on and I can't scrub very well anymore. Just don't have the muscles anymore. And then get that sorted. Sprinkle a little bit of the cheese across the top, just to give it a nice cheesy crunch. Just a few little slices of jalapeno, just as a bit of a topping. And some of the red also. So this gives it a bit of colour, and it just looks so nice when you got it on the table, in the dish or not, as you like. So there you see a nice dish. Pop it in the oven for about 10, maybe a couple of minutes more, and be right back. Okay, it actually took 20 minutes on 200°C. It has been a few years since I last made it, and I just thought it was much sooner than that. This is another choker that I made with rose quartz and mother of pearl frangia, and I made these 3 pairs of earrings using that same method that I showed with the other choker. So you can take it and do all sorts with it. Now for this, look how it turned out. It's really quite colourful and lovely, and I can hardly wait to get it tucked in. I need to get, I forgot to get a spatula. Silly me. Spatula. Okay, and then cut into this lovely cake. And I've got my plate here, nice and moist, and I like mine with a bit of butter, but then so many things taste good with butter, don't they? So I'm getting the butter and make a little slice into the cake. It's like a cake. It's so moist and just gorgeous. And at steaming hot, the butter will just melt. It's so gorgeous. I am going to have to let that cool a bit. As you can see, it is steaming hot. So I will let that cool a few minutes. Okay, let's have a taste. I like hot, so all of the chilies, all of the peppers do well for me. The cheese, cornbread, the peppers. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so wonderful. And I used to make, in fact my mother used to make, there are so many different varieties of things that you can make that have that Tex-Mex inspiration and flavour. And I'll be making some of those things as well, because we all know that this is not Mexican. This is like an inspiration from two different cultures which used to be basically merged together, but not quite. So that history is also quite nice. But this is lovely. So I hope that you do try it and that you enjoy it.